and welcome to Carol's Kitchen. I'm Carol and I'm a Thermomix consultant, and I'm passionate about cooking good food, healthy food, delicious food, food to feed your family. When we enjoy an Indian at a restaurant, we'll often order butter chicken, we'll often order naan, and we'll often order onion bhajis, and we tend to gauge the quality of the restaurant by those three things. What we're going to do today is to cook up some absolutely delicious food. We're going to start with a garlic naan, we're going to do the butter chicken, and we may or may not get to the onion bhajis. But what we hope to do is to make your kitchen your family's favourite restaurant. We're going to use a traditional naan recipe, and we're going to cook it manually in the Thermomix. We're not actually going to use a recipe from Cookie Dough. So this recipe starts with 250 grams of flour. This is just plain all-purpose flour. Half a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of powdered sugar, which I made in the Thermomix just before starting, and half a teaspoon of baking soda, 2 tablespoons of oil, half a cup of natural yogurt. This is with live cultures in it, of course. And we're just going to add a little bit of milk. So as the mixture mixes, we'll gauge whether we need to add a little bit more milk. But I'm just going to add about a tablespoonful to start with. Okay, we'll pop the lid on. And we'll just mix this manually as we would for doing bread manually. We'll give it 10 seconds. And we'll just take the speed up gradually to about 5. I'm just going to show you this. So this is a first for me. I've not actually made this recipe in my Thermomix before. But this is a little bit too crumbly. So it's quite crummy at the moment. So we're just going to add the rest of this milk. That's about 1/8 of a cup altogether. And we'll just repeat that mix. You can hear the sound when it's in a more bulky form rather than crumbly form. Yeah, that actually looks perfect. So we're going to knead that in the Thermomix. And to do that, just going to swipe across to the dough function. We're going to dial up about 2.5 minutes. And we're just going to tap the dough sign and off she goes. So this is just going to knead that dough for us. A process that if you did it manually would take at least 10 minutes. So almost done. Notice your Thermomix moves a little bit when it's kneading, so you should never leave your Thermomix unattended whilst it's doing that. Okay, this dough looks pretty good. Alright, let's just turn this bowl upside down and help to release the dough by turning the nut. The spatula in there as well. Here she comes. So this is a soft but not sticky dough. There's a little bit on the blades there, so I'm just going to put that back into the bowl. And we'll switch over to turbo. We're just going to give this a very quick 1 second turbo. Take it back to home, and all that dough should now be on the outside of the bowl. So that means that we can get out that last bit of dough without much difficulty. So we're just going to bring this dough together. Just bring it into a ball, and it's good to bring it in from the sides and just form it into a bowl. It's like folding it in underneath. So you've got a nice smooth dough ball. So we're just going to wrap this dough ball up in the thermomat, and we're just going to leave it probably for about 3 to 4 hours, and then we will finish it off. In the meantime, we will start to make the butter chicken, and we'll get back to you with that very soon. Okay, we've got the naan breads on the go. Next step is to actually make a start on our butter chicken. Our butter chicken is probably the second most ordered dish from an Indian takeaway, behind chicken tikka masala, almost neck and neck. We're going to start just by marinating the chicken in some tandoori paste. Tandoori paste, got a couple of jars here, is really easy to make in your Thermomix as well. Smells delicious. Okay, so we've got the recipe up on the cookie dough screen here, so let's just start cooking. We've already got a bowl on the mixing bowl lid, and we're going to weigh our chicken. It says around 800 grams of chicken thigh, 728, that's plenty because there's just 2 of us. Okay, next we're just going to add some lemon juice. Scales come up automatically as they do when you need them in a recipe. A bit of salt. 150 grams of natural yogurt. And tandoori paste, 120 grams. So this is a really versatile paste. It's also in the creamy coconut chicken curry. 123, okay. I think we'll be happy with that. So we just have to now rub the marinade into the chicken, mix it all up. If you're brave enough, you could actually do this with your hands. Get in there and mix it all up. We're just going to marinate this for about 20 minutes. It's just going to flavour the chicken, tenderize the chicken a little bit, and it's actually going to make absolutely delicious butter chicken. So we're just going to leave that there for a short while, and then we'll come back. Right, so we've got our chicken that's been marinating for 20 to 30 minutes. And the next step is actually to put this into the oven under a grill so that it's cooked and slightly charred. I've got a baking tray here lined with some foil and just a brush of oil in there. So let's just pop the chicken into here. It smells so good. Already smells so good. Okay, so once my oven has reached temperature and it goes beep beep, I'll be popping that in for 8 minutes, turning every 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, we've got the chicken in the oven and that's smelling delicious. So let's just get on now and make the sauce, the butter sauce. So we can jump straight to that part of the recipe just by tapping on that step on the guided cook. 2 teaspoons of cumin seeds, 2 teaspoons coriander seeds, 2 centimetres cinnamon quill, and 1 black cardamom pod, and they're all in this little container here. We're just going, and fenugreek seeds too, they're in there. We're just going to roast these off, placing the measuring cup on the lid. I'm just going to turn that to speed 1, so 2 minutes on Verona. And that's actually roasting the spices to release those delicious aromas and flavours. Quite pungent. Okay, so next we've got, allow it to cool in the mixing bowl for 1 minute, and then we're going to mill the spices. It's great when you can actually roast your own spices and then mill your own spice blend. So fresh to go into your curry. Okay, let's try that. We've got 1 minute and we're just going to turn it right up to speed 10. Take a few seconds to get going because it is still warm. Just scrape the spice off the lid. You can see how beautifully blended those spices are into the bowl. So that's our spice mix. And we don't have to clean the bowl, we're just going to go straight in now to making the rest of the sauce. I'll just set that aside there. So 45 grams of ghee, and this is actually something else that you can make really easily in your Thermomix. Some onion that's just quartered, some ginger paste and some garlic paste. Don't have to tell you, these are made in the Thermomix as well. It's amazing what you can make in the Thermomix. Whenever you use something, you say, can I make that in my Thermomix? And most of the time you can. A little bit of salt. So there's a teaspoon, I'm just going to put in half a teaspoon. With everything, you know, when you're cooking, it's very much to your own taste. If you want to reduce the salt a little bit, you can do. And the same with the chilies. It says 2 fresh long green chilies trimmed and cut into halves, and then it says optional. So because I know my tandoori paste has already got quite a bit of heat in it, I'm actually just putting half of one chili in. And if you are a family that likes spice, then you might actually add the 2 chilies. If you're a family with children, you might not want to add the extra chili at all and make it a more kid-friendly butter chicken. Some fresh coriander. Now my husband's not keen on coriander, so when I buy it I tend to freeze it. So I've got some stems and some leaves here. Not 10 sprigs, maybe a couple of sprigs, because I know he would not like too much fresh coriander in there. So again, it's a personal choice. I'm going to insert measuring cup in the mixing bowl lid, and then we're just going to blend that 3 seconds at speed 7. So that's made basically a paste. Let's take a look. So there you go, 3 seconds at speed 7. And you've got your chili, garlic, onion, coriander paste. Scrape down the sides of the mixing bowl. Very, very fragrant, smelling good, making my mouth water already. Okay. Now without the measuring cup, I think we might be cooking this off a bit. So we're going to have 10 minutes at speed 1 at 100 degrees. So that's actually going to cook that garlic, ginger, onion paste for us. And we're leaving the measuring cup off so that some steam can escape. So rather than steaming the onions, it's actually going to more like saute the onions. So I've got our cooked off pastes in there. And next, we're going to add the reserved spices. We're just going to cook this now for 1 minute at speed 1. So this is just going to cook the spices along with that garlic, ginger and onion paste. And this is the cooked chicken just come out of the oven. So that is looking just so delicious. Can't wait to taste it in the butter sauce. Next, scraping down. We're adding a can whole tomatoes, not wholly tomatoes. 70 grams of water. $70 grams of cashews, or you could substitute blanched almonds. Okay, and place a simmering basket onto the lid instead of the measuring cup. And we've got 7 minutes at a gentle stir at 100 degrees. So we're just going to cook everything together. Just looking at the recipe detail, we can have a look at what is coming next. Tomatoes, cashews, 20 grams of butter, and remaining coriander, and we're going to blend, and that will give us our butter sauce. This is probably a recipe that's got quite a lot of steps in it, but if you've just got your ingredients sorted, it is actually a really very easy and quick recipe to do. You know, none of this is taking very long to cook. The chicken was only about 10 minutes in the oven, so yeah, it's not a long process by any means, even though it's got quite a few steps. So whilst our butter chicken is cooking, this is the naan bread dough ready to be rolled out into its shape. We've just divided the dough into 5 equal pieces and we're just resting them in a little ball for a few minutes. Okay, so let's roll our first naan bread. So we make our naan breads not too big. Got our basic naan shape there. So we're just going to add a few things on top. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of chopped garlic and a few nigella seeds. These are onion seeds. And for me, just a few coriander. I do like a little bit of coriander. And then we're just going to gently roll the rolling pin over the surface so that those things are sort of embedded in the dough. So we're just going to heat up a griddle and we'll cook that in a few moments. So we're going to add 20 grams of unsalted butter. I'm going to re-tear these scales because you may have noticed that when you take the lid off it changes the scales. Can't have a buttered chicken without plenty of butter. The fresh coriander, I'm not going to add extra coriander. And we've got 30 seconds at speed 8. Turning it up slowly from speed 4 because it's hot. It won't go to a high speed quickly. Scrape this bit of deliciousness off the lid. Wow, I should show you this. It looks amazing. There is our butter chicken sauce. Wow. Wonderful. The chicken that's come out of the oven a short while ago. So try and get this into the Thermomix without getting it everywhere. Lift it up in the foil. There's a lot of delicious flavour going in there too from the marinade. Okay, we've added the reserved chicken. You want a teaspoon of garam masala. Lightly stir with the spatula. Insert the lid. And it's just 5 minutes now on a reverse speed, so we don't want to break up the chicken. And at 90 degrees. Just on the soft stir. Okay, and then we'll be almost ready to eat. Let's cook some naans. Okay, that has just chimed, so that has finished stirring, and I've got the griddle on ready to cook some of the naans. So just seasoning as necessary and add some whipping cream. Okay. And more butter. Lightly stir with the aid of the spatula. Okay, so I can see that smoking. We're just going to let this finish off. 2 minutes at 70 on reverse speed 1. Okay. Alright, let's turn our attention to these naan breads and see how we go with these. But this is a hot griddle, and we're just going to put it on there until hopefully we get some bubbles appearing on the surface. And then we're going to try a little trick to see if we can brown the surface without actually putting it under a grill. So this is the way we're trying to get a little bit of browning on the top of the naan, just with our blowtorch. Every good kitchen has a blowtorch. And yeah, the proof of the pudding will be in the tasting, so we'll let you know. So we're done, and we've got a fantastic butter chicken and some garlic naan to enjoy for our supper. I'll just bring the camera a little bit closer so that you can have a closer look at the finished result. Here we go. Okay, we're really going to enjoy that with some, just some plain steamed rice. I'm just going to try a little bit of the naan. Can't resist. It's actually really good. The base is crispy, the top is soft and buttery, garlicky. Okay, I'm going to say cheerios so that we can enjoy the food. See you next time.